It seems only yesterday that I went into Reckless Records with my cassette demo of Say Kids What Time Is It in my sweaty mitt and gave it to Jonathan, who was working behind the counter, and waited nervously to say whether he thought it was any good or not. And that was nearly 20 years ago, and time just goes in a flash.
We got talking, found that we had a shared enthusiasm for records. I think both of us wanted to do something. So a couple of days later, or maybe even the next day, Matt came back with a tape that he'd done.
を持ってきて、これらのリアリスティックなアクションフィギュアとターンテーブルとミクサーとヘッドフォンとレコードボックス。
I remember being quite surprised at the pace at which things took off. We were the first, and we knew we were the first, but we also knew that behind us there was something else building up, and that it was probably likely to have quite a big impact. Before we knew, the tidal wave had kind of broken over us, and we were just trying to surf through it as best we could, and fallen off a couple of times, but we're still here.
Ninja Tune.
There was a very clear reason behind forming Ninja Tune. Remember, we'd started off totally independent. John and I came from the punk era. We knew that you could make your own record, that you didn't have to lick record company arse to make and put out a record. We thought, well, we'll just invent another identity, and we'll invent another label, and then we'll be able to release the music that we want to release. And that label was Ninja Tune.
Coldcut and Ninja Tune are intertwined, but they're as different as they are similar. Undoubtedly, one goes with the other, but they also exist separately as individual things.
I look with some satisfaction at the Ninja roster, and I think that each of the artists that we've got are kind of top boy in their class in their own stylish, cool way.
Please, Mr. Nichols, come back inside the window. I can't promise you anything, but I trust there's far greater reason to live. I know you've become disheartened and disillusioned by the current state of affairs. Your stocks have fallen, your investments have failed you. The man from whom you took orders has been ordered to jail by his and your subordinates. You question, what is this coming to? What is the profit margin when you're forced to pander to the marginalized? Where's the glory you dreamt of as a child?
For me, Coldcut is the identity that best reflects my own visions and ideas, and has got the history that I can go forward with. My working relationship with Jonathan is an important relationship, and we are Coldcut. Insert distorted 808 tone here. Sam Mirrors is our best album to date.
This contract in my hand before the day is out.
Album's a team effort, I've got to say as well. It'd be nice to claim that just John and I are, geniuses who've managed to come up with this ourselves, but actually we're clever enough to know that we need some extra input from people.
Just dial this number, won't you help me, please? I just found this number with a phone book on me.
I suppose in all seriousness, we started about 4 years ago. And some of the tracks were finished only a few months ago, really, and the Roots Manuva track was finished days before the album was actually cut and mastered.
Jamie, pump up the volume.
I sort of kicked that one off, and it came in at the last minute, and I went off on a trip And everyone was really pissed off with me because we were supposed to be finishing the album, but I came back with the samples that we used to make that track.
One of Matt's favourites was the Egyptian rhythm. So he put a loop of that from an old tune together with the string sample and this bit of female vocal sample.
I just wrote like a few lines to Rodney, sort of, you know, inviting him to do it and exploring some of the common themes, common ground that we have in our work. Broadly, that's what he used, but totally in his own superb way. You don't tell Rodney what to sing, you give him a track, actually a selection of tracks, and hope he'll choose the one that you want him to choose, which he did.
Get your rock and roll and get it under control.
The John Spencer track, the title, comes from a book which Matt is very much into, called Everything's Under Control. He'd actually written a chorus based around that, which we sent off to John Spencer. But then with my lad, we discussed the ideas of what that song was about, so the context and the conspiracy theories and etc. So Mike, you know, he's on the same sort of level and understands our attitude on that, and so he writes the lyrics, but it's around ideas that we're familiar with.
Ain't it something money's bumping, but it's all in mode with no production. Murdoch, potlucks, cotton for consumption. My talk's co-opted for saying something. Everything is under control. It's out of control.
People say the show seems very live, and if so, I think we're doing our job, because it is live. We are generating it on the fly. There's no kind of just press play, it all plays from the hard disk, and you just sort of go like this and put a few effects on, as some of our brethren do. We're working with this guy, Raj Panu. He's a really good scratch DJ.
Matt, myself and Raj make noise and pictures. So it's a question of us juggling those noises and pictures together to make something that resembles a coherent pattern. We're still kind of working it out. And some of the tracks are actually better, I think, now live than they are on the album. It's a bit of a case of pimp that song, really, at the moment.
Raj Panu.
John and I have been together nearly 20 years. We probably won't have another serious creative relationship like that in this lifetime, so it's a valuable thing. To continue to work it out is a great practice, and I think we're still going to do our best work together.
This is the first synthesizer I ever bought, my beloved Korg MS-10. It's not plugged in at the moment.
I think we're restless, and I think that helps us, really, you know. We're restless and we're always searching for the true ignorance. We're going to tour this album for a bit. We're going to do some projects. The waters are a bit choppy at the moment, but we think the sunnier climes ahead, so we're going to sail on.
For want of a nail, a shoe was lost. For want of a shoe, a horse was lost. For want of a horse, a king was lost. For want of a king, the battle was lost. For want of a battle, the kingdom was lost, and all for want of a horseshoe nail.
And we had peace.
So it worked out quite well, really.